Islam is a completely different challenge, different, more of a finishing ability, more powerful on the feet. So yeah, different challenge, and I'm excited for it. It's going to start on the feet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Bilal fight, he probably sees that Bilal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll get into some at least some grappling exchanges, you know.
Jack Della Maddalena puts Craig Jones to sleep and is looking unbeatable ahead of his first title defense against Islam Makhachev. In a recent training session, Jack Della Maddalena was seen landing a fight-ending submission on Craig Jones, and the fans are buzzing that he would try the same tactic against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322 on November 15. Jack Della Maddalena expressed his determination to beat Islam Makhachev, saying he's aiming for the victory not just for himself, but also for his team, building on Makhachev's recent wins over fighters like Alexander Volkanovski and Dan Hooker.
Islam Makhachev has had some success against our Anzac fighters,
Alexander Volkanovski, Dan Hooker. We're hoping that it will not be a 3-3 of fighters in our region.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gunning for it, you know. I really want to, obviously just for myself, but yeah, I want to get that win, you know. I'm gonna get it back for the team.
Dan Hooker praises Islam Makhachev for moving up to welterweight to face Jack Della Maddalena. He highlighted that taking on JDM earned Makhachev respect, noting that even Khabib never attempted a similar challenge in his career.
A huge ask for Islam, credit to him for stepping up to the plate and coming up to welterweight. Definitely got my respect for being able to move up a weight class and fight Jack Della. Like, it's something that even, you know, the greatest lightweight of all time, Khabib, who never managed to chase that accomplishment in being a 2-division champion. So credit to him, but it's a huge ask. Obviously, we go for a book chat.
Earlier, in another interview, Dan Hooker suggested that the UFC may have carefully planned the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. He speculated that Makhachev's team might have spotted a potential weakness, but noted that Jack's size and power could play a key role, giving him a small edge despite the tough challenge.
Pretty confident stylistically with that Jack Della fight they kind of gone out of their way to chase that fight down. So they obviously see something. I figure it'll be close, but yeah, that's a big step up. Jack Della's a pretty big boy.
Yeah. Do you think Islam can get past him?
He's obviously got I feel like he's got a chance, but I feel like that fight leans towards Jack Della.
And Gary also talks about this encounter and said that in the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena fight, Jack would likely dominate the striking exchanges. But the main test will be defending takedowns at UFC 322. He highlighted Islam's elite grappling skills and lifelong training, noting that while Jack can succeed on the feet, his ability to stop takedowns consistently over 5 rounds will decide the fight.
The fight for me really is, when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that, and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently, like he did against Bilal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Bilal at stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop the takedown consistently over 5 rounds?
Colby Covington predicts Islam Makhachev will have the edge over Jack Della Maddalena. He explained that even though Islam is moving up from lightweight, his well-rounded skills make him dangerous. Covington believes that controlling the fight through takedowns would give Makhachev a strong path to victory, making him the likely winner despite the size disadvantage.
Islam versus JDM, what do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, you know, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, you know, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, you know, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Merab Dvalishvili expressed confidence that Islam Makhachev can win a second title by beating Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledged JDM's striking but highlighted Makhachev's smart, adaptable style. Merab expects Islam to adjust his strategy after observing Bilal Muhammad's fight and believes he will overcome the challenge to become a two-division champion.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down. So, and also we all see the JDM Bilal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible. It's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
However, Daniel Dariush believes Islam Makhachev may face a tough challenge against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He pointed out JDM's size and strong cardio as potential advantages and feels that these factors could give Jack the edge, though he admits he might be wrong in his prediction.
I'm wondering how that goes. Earlier on, I was leaning towards Islam Makhachev, and now I'm leaning towards JDM, but I don't know why.
Why are you leaning towards JDM now? Tell me, what is it?
I don't have a logical reason for it, but I've just been thinking more about it, bro. He is bigger, he's fast. It's not like he's a slow fighter. He's young. There's not a whole lot like in his game. He showed a whole different game. I've seen his old fights. If I watch just his old fights and not watch his most recent fight with Bilal, I would definitely be like, okay, Makhachev has this fight. But after watching him fight with Bilal, I think his chances of winning are a lot better.
On the other hand, Islam is training hard with his teammate, Umar Nurmagomedov, under Khabib's coaching, as Umar is also all set to make his UFC return after his defeat against Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311. Umar will face Mario Bautista at UFC 321 and is pushing hard to re-enter the title contention race in the bantamweight division.
Umar Nurmagomedov starts his new camp for his next match. He started with the striking. He really wants to improve his striking ability.
Corey Sandhagen predicts that Umar Nurmagomedov will have the upper hand against Mario Bautista. He noted that many see a win for Bautista as a potential step toward a title shot, but believes Bautista will face a tough challenge. Sandhagen added that the 3-round format on October 25th PVV makes the fight even harder for Bautista, ultimately giving Umar the advantage.
Umar against Mario Bautista, because I think a lot of people think if Bautista wins, he could be next if Merab beats Jan.
Yeah, he could be. That's pretty crazy to think about. But Bautista, I think, has his hands full big time against Umar, and that's going to be a really tough fight. Is it a 3-rounder or a 5?
Yeah, it's a 3-rounder on the next pay-per-view card, the 321 card, October 25th.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's even like a tougher fight for Bautista if it's only 3 rounds. So, yeah, I think I got Umar in that one.
Meanwhile, Mario Bautista believes Merab Dvalishvili created the blueprint for beating Umar Nurmagomedov. He explained that keeping a high pace is key against Umar, but said he has extra tools to cause more damage than Merab. Bautista hopes to secure a first-round finish if he ever faces Umar.
Man, I see it. I think Merab put the blueprint out there. You got to set a high pace on this guy. But at the same time, I think I have the tools to create more damage than Merab did. Merab's a great grappler and everything, and put it on him. But I don't know. I'm hoping it'd be nice to get that first round finish, which I think I can. There's some fights that I go into, I'm like, this is gonna be a tough one. But just our styles and the way we might clash, I think I could definitely get a finish for sure. If not, I see myself gassing him out and just pushing to the end and getting my hand raised no matter what.
Mario Bautista said his upcoming fight with Umar Nurmagomedov will challenge every part of his MMA game. He pointed out that Umar isn't just a wrestler like Khabib, his striking is fast, dynamic, and almost karate-like. Bautista stressed that to win, he needs to be ready in both striking and grappling.
Realistically, how are you looking at this fight with you and Umar? Because, you think of the Dagestanis, you always think of wrestling, but he's a lot more than that as far as just, kind of that stereotypical Dagestani fighter.
No, that's 100% true. Yeah, he's not just like Khabib, he has this stand-up to him. It's kind of almost karate, taekwondo style, kind of bouncy, a lot of, kicks, fast kicks. So he does have good stand-up. He was able to, stand up with Corey Sandhagen for the majority of their fight. So he does have some great stand-up. So, this is going to be an up-down kind of fight. I'm going to have to be on point everywhere. This isn't something where I could go in and like against Patchy and I'm just going to keep it standing up and win the fight that way. This is going to be an all-around kind of fight. So that's the type of fight I have to prepare for.
Merab Dvalishvili also hopes Mario Bautista whoops Umar's butts at UFC 321 and earns a title shot. He says Bautista is the most deserving contender because of his winning streak and victories over tough opponents, pointing out that his cousin's name is not Khabib, so he doesn't get special treatment. Merab adds that if Bautista wins, he should be next for the title, though he also notes there are other contenders rising in the division.
Yeah, I hope Bautista whopped Umar's ass and I will fight Bautista next because Bautista is a good fighter, he has like a good winning streak. He beat a lot of good guys, and he's most deserving guy too. And he don't have his Bautista's cousin's name is not a Khabib. That's why he needs to 9-fight win streak to maybe fight for the belt. And some people can get title fight after 6-fight win streak, fight nobody's, without ranked opponents, and if Bautista could be next, or there is some, I forgot there is other fights also in our division, and after that we will have more contenders in our weight class.
Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier believes Umar Nurmagomedov is the only fighter currently capable of challenging Merab Dvalishvili in the bantamweight division. He described Merab as extremely tough to beat, noting that in their fight, Merab controlled every round. Cormier explained that Merab's relentless pressure and non-stop attacks make him one of the hardest opponents to handle in the division.
Merab Dvalishvili is very, very special. I gotta tell you, I think Umar Nurmagomedov is probably the one guy that can challenge him. We saw them fight, it was 48-47 across the board. Everyone else cannot stay with him. It's gonna be very difficult for guys to figure out how to beat him because he's gonna just keep hitting them with takedowns, keeps hitting you at the hips. He's a very hard challenge to prepare for.
Bilal Muhammad also believes that only Umar Nurmagomedov can truly challenge Merab Dvalishvili. He noted that their wrestling battle was very even and the fight was extremely close. Bilal also praised both fighters as genuinely good people despite their rivalry and credited Merab for bringing excitement back to the lighter weight divisions with his performances.
I do think he'll probably have to get one more because Merab is calling for Peter Yan. And if he calls for him in December, Umar is not going to go in December after October. So I see him getting Peter Yan next, but I do think it's one of those where Umar is going to be his closest competition in there just because the wrestling was so even. The scrambling was so great in that fight. It was, all of it was a very close fight. And I know Merab doesn't give him the credit. They have a beef with each other, and it's the funniest thing because they're both, literally Umar's one of the nicest guys in the world, Merab is one of the nicest guys in the world, and they just don't like each other. But it's competition. So I want to see how that division plays out. I want to see if Merab gets his 4th win in the calendar year as a champion. It's crazy. But yeah, man, Merab is making the little guys exciting again.
However, Aljamain Sterling thinks Umar Nurmagomedov needs 2 more wins before earning another title shot. He said Mario Bautista would have a stronger case if he wins, citing Bautista's long streak and victory over former but later champion Patchy Mix. Sterling emphasized that Umar should work his way back to prevent the division from repeating the same matchups.
Now he's fighting another top guy in Mario Bautista, who's on, I believe, a 6-fight win streak. And I think if Mario wins, he has a case. He has a long winning streak. He beat a former Bellator champion, multiple time defending Bellator champion in Patchy Mix. Although Patchy just lost to a debut guy in a split decision, still a close fight, but he was still a former champion, kind of like Pitbull. It's tough. But I think if Umar wins, I think he should fight one more.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, yo, whoever, and even if Merab wasn't the champ, I would still say the same thing.
Yeah.
I like to see guys at least beat one or two guys, even though he did beat one guy, Corey Sandhagen, he got the title shot already. So now he should have to win at least 2 fights to get back to a title shot opportunity. Otherwise, you have a log jam at the top with the same guys fighting the same guys over and over and over.
On the other hand, Merab Dvalishvili warned that a rematch with Umar Nurmagomedov would see him in complete control. He criticized Umar for trash-talking and mocking him during the press conference, calling it childish. Merab said he has improved a lot since their first fight, and with injuries and a tough camp behind him, he will fully be prepared to dominate and destroy Umar in a potential next bout.
He was talking too much, even the press conference day Thursday when we had Pace Up, and then I take a picture with the belt and whatever, and then he said last picture. He was keep pointing at me that I was taking with the belt, the last picture, like, and that's like stupid from him. And but if he deserved the title fight again, if we fought again, I will destroy him. Now this time I will beat the shit out of him. First fight, now the next fight I will, yeah.
Why do you think? Because you've just improved that much, even more?
I win, and then now I can talk about this. I was injured, like my back was killing me, and then I had infection on my leg, and then that was very stressful training camp. And but next fight, if I have to fight him, you know.
John Wood also predicts that a rematch between Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov would see a much more ruthless Merab. He explained that in their first fight, Merab competed while dealing with several injuries and a staph infection, but still performed strongly. Wood believes a fully healthy and motivated Merab would dominate and could decisively finish Umar in a second encounter.
But just on Umar, like people are talking about the rematch. What this version of Merab that we saw yesterday, what do you think the Umar fight looks like if they did have a rematch, if he does get past Batista?
I think he finishes Umar. I think he destroys Umar. I think it's way worse for Umar. People, again, try to say that, make up all the excuses of whatever Umar's camp had going on and this, that, and the other. That was the worst Merab that you've ever seen. That was the most unhealthy, sick, injured Merab that you will ever see take a short notice fight, hand, back, rib, shins, staph infection, everything you could possibly go, and he still went out there and handled it just like that. I think that he absolutely... And that's one that you don't want to have an angry Merab on your ass. And that's one that Merab, you know, he's not a huge fan of some of the stuff that they say and some of the stuff that he does. So I think that goes in a much more violent fashion, you know, and I think that there's a finish that would be probably coming out of that fight.
On the other hand, Mario Bautista also warned that if this fight with Umar Nurmagomedov in Abu Dhabi goes to a decision, he expects a clear win. He added that any ruling against him in that scenario would be nothing short of a robbery.
If it does go the distance, obviously this isn't in Russia, but it is in Abu Dhabi. I imagine they're going to be a pro-Umar crowd. It's a Muslim country. Obviously, they're going to be rooting for their guy. Sometimes that does have an effect on the judging. Is that something you've thought of at all? Like if it does go the distance, even if it's a close fight, then maybe the crowd sways the the fight the other way?
A little bit, you know, but that's just the crowd, you know. I think I heard that for a commission, they either bring like the Vegas commission out there, so they do the judging and this and that. But if it plays right in my mind and the fight, like it doesn't even matter about the crowd. You know, if it does go to a decision, I want it to be, you know, cut and clear that I won no matter what. And if somehow I lose a decision, I want it to be like known, like it's just robbery, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we'll see how it goes, you know.
Yeah, no.
Mario Bautista also revealed that his fight with Umar Nurmagomedov is scheduled for 3 rounds, but said he would prefer a 5-round matchup, noting that Umar tends to tire in later rounds. He added that a decisive victory would position him well for a 5-round title fight against Merab Dvalishvili.
The 3-round fight on 321, is it not?
Yes, it'll be a 3-rounder, yeah. Which I mean, I would have preferred the 5-round fight against Umar, like, right. And one, I've kind of seen him fade in the later rounds, and then 2, like I just want that next step up, you know, the little, you know, say I go out there and smoke Umar, and then I'm right into a 5-round title fight with Merab. So like it would have been nice to get like a little, you know, a little feel for it, but it it is what it is, and you know, we'll see what happens next.
Meanwhile, Umar's team was not convinced by the result of his fight against Merab at UFC 311. Earlier, Umar Nurmagomedov's coach Javier Mendez argued that Umar had actually won at least 3 rounds. He explained that Merab Dvalishvili's confident showboating in the 5th round may have swayed the judges, making them think Merab was ahead and ultimately giving him the win.
He was, you know, I just said to him, I said what I felt. I said, you know what, Umar? I felt, in my opinion, I felt you won 3 out of the 5 rounds, and maybe I'm being biased, but I felt in the 5th round, the reason why you didn't win is because he showboated his way to winning that. Like,
yes.
He acted like the victor where you were tired, you know, and that's why I feel he basically took it from you because you led him, you know, and but I felt you won because when you're looking on damage and this and that, but when it comes to presence, he definitely got that. He definitely got that. So, but the actual damage that he did was nothing compared to what Umar did. He did more, but again, he did show that I'm the winner, you know, and Umar couldn't stop him, you know, from showing that, you know, so. You know, I can see how the judges would get swayed on that.
However, that doesn't matter now, and Umar can only get a title fight by baiting Murillo and prove himself again, as Merab is quickly cleaning the division and has already become a bantamweight GOAT. That's a wrap for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other videos on the screen right now.